Why didn't he go get that wounded animal? Where was his outclassing that y'all was talking about? The man walked around the ring and did nothing. He stole the rounds. I would not be in the corner at all. Can you imagine me being second to somebody else? I can't. You feel me? I'm a realist. I can't play second fiddle to nobody.
I'm lost for words when it comes to the father of Brian Norman Jr. If you guys haven't watched the Mill City interview with Brian Norman Sr., you need to go watch this, because it's one of the worst crash outs that I've ever seen in the sport of boxing. After taking the loss, after being relieved from your head training position from your son. Look at you guys, I think this might be the last video that I make on Brian Norman Sr. due to his reactions to all the critics and everybody that's been, you know, talking crap and saying that he didn't get his son ready enough, his corner work wasn't good, the way he's been acting before the fight, the way he was acting after the fight. Because during this interview, it seemed like he almost wanted to cry. It seems like we've all got to him, and I think it's honestly ruining his life. Honestly, I think social media, I think platform, I think interviews is ruining the life of Brian Norman Sr. as he continues to make himself look dumber, dumber, and dumber. And it's like, come on, bro. Brian Norman Sr., you seem like a real homie. You seem like a real dude. There's something that's not clicking in his brain. You know, he continues to double down and say that Devin the Dream Haney wasn't nothing, that he was still in the rounds against Brian Norman Jr., that it wasn't nothing.
But even after this, he was just winning and just sneaking in little body shots and shit from the inside. It was nothing.
That you guys want to know the game plan? You guys want to know the game plan that Brian Norman Jr. didn't do? It was jab to the body, jab to the head, jab to the shoulder, combinations.
With all this talk about, yeah, because Senior sitting about here, he'll know what he's doing. You want to know my game plan? My game plan, jab to the body, jab to the head, jab to the shoulders, throw a lot of combinations. Because guess what? Devin Haney don't do that.
Absolutely just ridiculous for this guy to continue to double down on the whole situation with this whole goddamn fight. He said, you think that if my son was throwing more volume, that Devin the Dream Haney would have won that fight? That he wouldn't have been able to control that fight? He wouldn't. You are absolutely ridiculous. He's living off one round. That first round, he's living off of it. And just can't accept the fact that Devin the Dream Haney was better than your son. And that if they fought 5 times out of 5 times, the same thing would probably happen all the time. He just can't live with that. He can't accept it. During this interview, talking about how I can't be second to none. If my son asks me to be the assistant trainer of another head trainer, I can't be second to none.
I would not be in the corner at all. Can you imagine me being second to somebody else? I can't. You feel me? I'm a realist. I can't play second fiddle to nobody. You can't put me in front of a dish and I'm making up a gourmet meal, and then you're gonna replace me with another chef and tell me I gotta be this nigga assistant. Nah, you kiss my ass. I don't do that.
Who does this guy think he is? Who does Brian Norman Sr. think he is? Robert Garcia? Freddie Roach? Floyd Mayweather Sr.? Who does this dude think he is? Goddamn coach of the year? Can't be second to no one. What if Brian Norman Jr. said, hey, father, I still want you to be part of my camp, but we're taking ourselves over here to Freddie Roach or something. You don't want to be, no. Why? Because you can't be second to none. You can't even try to help out your son, even if, you know, everything like this went down. I think it's better for your son, for Brian Norman Jr. to not be part of Brian Norman Sr. when it comes to the sport of boxing. I think he's a toxic father and doesn't even realize it. There is a point in everybody's life. He talks about, man, I did this for all of the fathers out there that have sons. We all have sons that are training to be champs, right? There's a lot of father-son duos out there that we look at as motivation. Nothing but respect to you for what you did with your son. But all of us fathers gotta realize that at some point, our sons need to get better and learn something that we just can't teach them. Brian, there's only so much you can teach Brian Norman Jr., and that's a fact. But you can accept that. You can't even be part of his story, of his life, of his journey in finding a new coach and, you know, just being part of his team. You can't do it because you're stubborn, because you feel like you're too good for it. This is the last video that I'm making of Brian Norman Sr. But if you haven't watched that Mill City interview, it's sad. That's why I'm saying I'm done making videos on him, because obviously this is ruining his life, his mentality, right? Going off on Greg Hackett, trying to fight guys in the ring. The dude's an old ass man already. Grow up. That's literally how I feel watching this dude, man. I'm 27 years old, and I know for a fact I am not the only goddamn person out there thinking the same thing. Brian Norman Sr. doubling down. Just, I don't know, man. I don't want to say nothing that's going to get me in trouble, but I don't know what's going down with this guy. I think he needs somebody by his side. Maybe rehab. I don't know, man. Somebody needs to make sure that this guy's right and everything's clicking and everything's good, because it seems like it's the end of the world for this guy. That's the way I'm looking at it. At least the way he's reacting. I don't know, man, if we're ever going to see Brian Norman Sr. again with his son, Brian Norman Jr. I mean, you got to at least go to the fights, bro. You got to at least support your son in that way. And if you don't, because you're still booty tickled, look it. I understand you rose this kid to the position that he is. Maybe you feel like you got a say-so in his goddamn life because I got you here. But at the same time, that's just being greedy. It's tough. It's a tough decision, man. But just leave it alone, dude. Just leave it alone. You give people firepower out here to be able to talk the most crap, and you just can't. You can't see it. This is the MMA Boxing Addicts channel. Let me know what you guys think about the interview. I'm out.